Candice, the Lawnmower Kings Plate race day, we always look forward to. It's, I think, a highlight on many people's calendars. With regards to the Cartier Ladies International, you've got two runners in Rogaroon and Love Shack.
Yeah, Vicky, it's always a very difficult race to assess. Obviously, Love Shack's got quite a bit of form. I think she's a pretty straightforward filly to ride as well. She shows she's got pace. All going well in the race, she should be a filly that may certainly have an each-way chance there, I would think, if all goes well for her. Rogaroon, his second run back after gelding, I think he definitely should improve. Might be a little bit more trickier to ride than the other filly. I think she's been riding him at home in work, and she feels that he might just be a little bit on the keen side. So we're just going to have to see how it works out, especially over 1200. Hopefully he doesn't overdo it too much in the race. But it's a fun race for all of them, and hard race to be betting in. But my horses are both well.
Race through the Franschhoek Motor Museum, the Winchester Sprint Cup. It's over the 1,000 metres. Mr. Cobbs' spot-on distance. And Resonate, I thought it was quite a good run from him last time that he could improve on.
Yeah, Vicky, he's been a frustrating horse. This is going to be his last chance, I think, to show some sort of improvement. He should be at his best, by now, and especially back over the Kenilworth trip. He's got lots of issues, Vicky. So it's always hard for me to assess his chances. Mr. Cobbs won this race last year. He's doing really nicely at the moment. He looks particularly well and he's fresh. He loves this trip, so he'll give a good account of himself. But obviously, it's a competitive race this year. He's quite nicely weighted, so a money chance, I would think.
In race for the Cartier Stakes, the Grade 2 over the 1200, and leading into the season, you knew you had a handful of fillies. It was always going to be difficult to separate them, but with regards to the collection of them, we'll start off with October Mourn, who she's gone back to her lowing, flying type of run, which should be encouraging.
Yeah, she's been unlucky both her last starts, Vicky. She just hasn't been able to get a run at all. I think she will love the 1200 metres. She looks very well at the moment, and she's doing really well. So I think she must have a very lively chance there. She's a filly that comes from off the pace a little bit, and they're kind of spreading across the track, so she does tend to find traffic problems along the way. So hopefully, if all things work out properly in the race, she's definitely a lively runner there.
Winter Cloud, obviously last time, no sort of real run from her at all. Has she done any change? Have you changed things with her, or do you feel she's a better filly going into this race?
It was just the Durbanville track last time. They were drawn it wide and they were at the back of the field. There was just no kind of a run whatsoever. She galloped very nicely at Kenilworth the other day. Obviously, if she's at her best, she certainly will be a lively runner there. She's on her best day. I mean, she's pretty much with Miss Geriatric. So, it all depends. She's also, since she's come back from Durban, she's a little bit not quite the same filly as she was going into the season there. So I'm hoping that she's turned the corner a bit now, and as I say, if she brings her best form, she certainly will be competitive too.
The older filly and Golden Hostess, how's she been going into the race, and is this a prep run for her?
It's not really a prep run, Vicky. I think her main aim for the season was the Diana Stakes, which she ended up winning. So 1400 I think is her best trip. A sprint is just a little touch on the sharp side for her. It's difficult for me to be expecting of her in a strong field like this. She always runs an honest race. Last time out she was also a line through that run. I mean, she was looking at everything the first time at the new Kenilworth track, and she is one of those fillies that looks at everything, and she was impossible on the day. So brought her back to the sprint, but I think I'm more hopeful than anything else with her in this race.
Now you have a reserve run in Winter Rainfall. She looks like she's sort of peaking at this time in her career.
Yeah, Vicky, I mean, it was a great win from her last time out, and umming and ahhing as to where to go with her, and I thought, we might as well have a bash at the Scepter Stakes. Obviously she's only second reserve, so she possibly might not get a run there. Other than that, we'll probably run her the next week over 1400, but she's doing really nicely, and hopefully she gets a spot somewhere.
Race 5 is the Anthony Rupert One Premier Trophy over the 1800 metres, and you've got stable favourite in Sugar Mountain. He looks like he's sort of really coming to hand. Do you think it's just because he is such an honest giving horse?
Oh, he's a horse, Vicky, that was always going to come to hand later on. He's taken time to mature, and I think he's probably at his best now. Very unlucky last time he couldn't get a run. I think he should have finished a lot closer than what he did. Not well in at the weights this time round. I think he's got a bit to do at the weight, so it's not going to be easy for him this time. He's drawn nicely. He's very, very well at the moment. So, on those two things, I certainly think he will run well. Just depends on whether, their weight situation is not going to be an issue this time round.
Race 6, the Cartier Paddock Stakes, always a lovely race to win. You've got Red Palace, who quite a controversial prep in the way that I'm sure not at all how it was scripted.
No, not at all, Vicky. And gosh, I mean, she did everything but win the Cold Skinny. So great run from her. She's a really beautiful filly. she's come through a prep really well. She's particularly well at the moment. She's a fit filly, so I give her a huge chance on Saturday. I think, I've got two lovely fillies. Beach Bomb obviously coming off of winning the Fillies Guineas as nice a filly, and I think either one of them could win. If I go on the two of them at home, just on their work, and that Red Palace at the moment is maybe slightly better out of the two fillies, but Beach Bomb on the grass is a different filly. So I've got two very lively runners. I think I've got two outstanding chances, and I'm very hopeful of either one of them.
In the main event, race 7, the Lormara King's Plate, the weight for age of the 1600 metres, Charles Dickens, regarding his last run, were you a bit disappointed by that run?
I wasn't, Vicky. I think he was always going to need that run back. Things didn't really work out as we would want them to work out in the race, but it is what it is. We learned one or two things on the day, and I think important things that we did need to, and he didn't run a bad race, but obviously you expect him to win every time he runs, but he's a much fitter horse going into his race on Saturday. I think he's in a very good place. I think the type of race that it's going to be will suit him, and I think he's got a good draw this time around. So yeah, lots of positives in his favour, Vicky. Obviously, see it again. He's a really, really good horse, and he's never an easy horse to beat. But I think I've got him where I want him to be on Saturday, and I'm fairly confident that he'll give a huge account of himself, and I'm going into the race very positive.
Regarding his gallop, were you quite encouraged in obviously you went in with a plan of what you wanted from him. Did you feel like you achieved that in the gallop?
Yeah, put up a very nice gallop. Belinda's been doing a lot of work on him at home, a lot of schooling work, trying to get him, because he's been hanging quite a bit badly, and I think he's got into a bad habit of doing that. So she's been doing quite a bit of work at home, and it's really going well at the moment. So as I say, I'm going into Saturday very positively.
Race 8 rounds off the day for you. You've got both the Tanga and then Future Variety, obviously the Syndicate horse, which is quite exciting.
Yeah, tough race, Vicky. I think it's a very open race, and he comes off a good win in the listed race, but he's got a big weight to carry, so it's not going to be easy for him in a handicap, but he's doing well, and obviously we'll have a chance there. Tanango, first run back after gelding. I think he'll be a much better horse after gelding. Might just need his run back, but he's doing nicely, and actually is in good shape at the moment, so may well have a money chance.
And then Candice, the Lormara King's Plate, what about the race day is the best part for you?
It's a lovely race day, Vicky. I think the whole ambiance and everything on the day, I love all the decor and the soft music and things. I think it makes for a really good day. It's a classy day, and I think everybody puts you in that kind of vibe, should I say, and one of my favorite ones for sure.